Hey guys, about to go into round 2 of a Battle for Zendikar draft. We got off to a pretty strong start in round 1. Let's see if we can continue that trend. We would like to play first, I think. And I think this is a keep. We don't have the third land that we're going to want, or the fourth land for that matter. But we do have Fortified Rampart to slow down the ground. Our deck has 16 lands left in it, so we have roughly a 50% chance of drawing a third land. And Stasis Snare plus Merc Strider is pretty nice. So I think I keep it. Could end up really regretting it if we can't manage to hit any lands, but at least we have our Rampart to slow the ground down. Alright, we drew our other Stasis Snare, so if we get our third land and it's a white producing land, we'll be pretty happy. Okay, white-green. So our opponent may have quite the powerful deck. Well, that is not good. Alright, so we've got a greater than 50% chance of drawing a land now. See if we can do it. We can't. So, not off to a great start. This is one of those hands where once the game gets going, you're like, man, I should have mulliganed, but it was hard to know that. And if we get a third land, especially one that produces white mana, we're still not very far behind. Our Fortified Rampart is at least keeping us from taking massive amounts of damage. Our opponent is up to 4 lands, though, and can start doing scarier things and like that. Okay, well, we drew a creature at least, I guess. One that can block and kill Core Castigator, so I suppose that's reasonable. Alright, so 16 lands remaining in our 29 card deck. So we'll be blocking onto Greathorn and Core Castigator if he swings with everything here. He's not swinging with everything, which makes sense. I'll block the Greathorn. He may have... he doesn't. Good. He may have had... Lithomancer's Focus, which would have just destroyed our guy. Ugh. Things are getting ugly in a hurry. But if we can just get the third land for Stasis Snare, we can stabilize. And, well, can't play Stasis Snare, but we will tap down his Ondu Greathorn. And end our turn. But yeah, we're in trouble. Adverse conditions can buy us some time. The power of the cards in our hand is very significant, but the inability to draw anything is pretty frustrating. We'll block here, drop to 13. All right, finally drew white. Now the question here is, what do I do? I think I Stasis Snare something, then play Merc Strider, bounce something else, and then Stasis Snare again. And I think that seems pretty reasonable and could help us get back in this game. If he plays it to Drew Warcaller, we're going to be incredibly sad, but I think we're in okay shape, barring, some incredible card that comes out of our opponent's hand. Okay, he's got red in his deck too. It's our first time seeing. Okay, so everybody's swinging except the Core Castigator. Ooh, the Castigator's swinging too. May have Inspired Charge, which would be bad, but we're going to block here, and we're going to block... I'm actually going to block here, because if he does have Inspired Charge, this won't kill anything, and I can still Stasis Snare and kill the Ondu Greathorn, so... Inspired Charge will be painful, but we will prevent 6 damage from it. We're taking down his Castigator in the process, and it's Inspired Charge. So I'm glad I read that correctly. We will Stasis Snare that Ondu Greathorn. And we do take 7 there, which is not great, and we lose our dude. But, all right, now we're up to 5. Blighterder needs 2 cards, right? I could adverse conditions instead this turn. If I play Merc Strider, I guess I would bounce the... I mean, there's not really anything good to bounce is the problem right now. So maybe I should just play Wind Rider Patrol. Or I could just use adverse conditions. Or I could just play Blighterder, who's big. Yeah, I'm going to play the Herder. Instead of holding up our Stasis Snare or something like that. We only have 1 card in exile, so we do not get to use Blighterder's secondary ability, but we get to slow the tide of his offense here. Next turn may be better to play Merc Strider. Might have been better to use Stasis Snare and Grove Tender, but the way I blocked ended up letting me keep my Rampart, so I guess I'm not too upset about it. I don't really want to bounce the Grove Tender because it will allow him to make another plant. I mean, it'll also slow him down, but... Okay, Veteran War Leader is a prime Stasis Snare target. He's going to put a plant into play, which is bad. We could also just bounce it. It may be better to bounce it with Merc Strider because we can keep our blocks... keep having more blockers in play. Okay, so we're getting into territory. We have 6 lands. And what do we want to do here? Merc Strider bounces the War Leader, lets him make another plant, which is getting to be a real problem. We have 6 mana. I so wish we had 7. But you can't have everything. Because I could Stasis Snare and then Merc Strider. Now I think I just Merc Strider. And we'll give him back his Ondu Greathorn. We will target the Veteran War Leader. Give him back his Ondu Greathorn. And in the turn, we're pretty much dead to another Inspired Charge. But having adverse conditions plus Stasis Snare up in a while would be good. We've definitely, you know, by all accounts, we should already be dead. But the power of the cards in our hand has let us survive, but only just barely. We were stuck on 2 lands when our opponent was at 5, right? Not really where you want to be. So if I can have adverse conditions and Stasis Snare up, that would be great. It would be very good for us. We're gonna have to snare this Veteran War Leader. So, okay, McKindy Patrol. That's bad news. Normally isn't the baddest of news, but right now it's not good news. He gives everything vigilance. Okay, he decided not to swing though. He would have lost dudes in the process, I guess. Land. It is a land. All right, so we can have adverse conditions and Stasis Snare. We can also play Cloud Manta. But adverse conditions can help us shut down his 2 most problematic creatures and put a blocker into play. And then, well, we can Stasis Snare his most problematic creature. And I think that could give us the breathing room, like, to get things going more offensively. And I think that's what we're going to have to do to survive here. So I think we pass. I'd rather... Adverse conditions, locking down 2 of his creatures for a little while, also giving us an Eldrazi token, and then Stasis Snare, something else. Probably the War Leader. Although this Grove Tender Druid's a real problem when we're at 6 life, so that isn't cool either. Hero of Gomafada. Okay, well, luckily none of our removal is affected by that. But it does present a problem for us. And will probably be our downfall. It kind of makes me want to Stasis Snare the hero. But I don't think we can. I think we let the hero come into play. Gives all his dudes indestructible, unfortunately for us. Which makes our token blocking not nearly as good. Puts a plant into play. Yeah, we started this game way too far behind, basically. but I think that's okay. All right, so we're going to go... Well, we're not going to do it like that, though. Ruin Processor would be nice right now, but I don't even think he could save us at this point. But we're going to cast Stasis Snare on Veteran War Leader. He does have Felidar Cub. I don't know why he hasn't sacrificed it yet. I kind of just thought about that. He could sacrifice it now to get his War Leader back, which is bad. And then we're going to go Adverse Conditions and tap down this and this. And I think that lets us live for another turn. But I don't know that it lets us do much more than that, especially when he has Felidar Cub to blow up our enchantment and get back his Veteran War Leader. Okay. I'm okay with him not swinging there. So I think we're dead now, basically. I mean, he can get back his War Leader and actually use the Rally effect to give everything indestructible. I will play the best card in our hand, which is our Windrider Patrol. But I do not think it'll be enough to save us, and I'll end my turn. If he uses Felidar Cub now, okay, he did. Oh, yeah. So he gets it back, and he gets the Rally trigger now, but luckily it isn't super relevant. He can gain Trample, though, so that is a problem. I think we're pretty much dead. I just don't think we can get out of this one. We started too slow. Our opponent's deck is a very strong ally deck. Yeah, we're 100% dead now, so we did what we could to stay in that game, but it wasn't enough. Our opponent's deck's very strong. He can go wide and use War Callers and things like that to mess us up. Royal Mage's Trick is good against a deck like this. Merc Strider is less good against an ally deck, as we saw in that game. So I think we take it out. When you can only bounce cards that won't give them Rally over and over again, which is not very many of them. I mean, you can still bounce other things, say if you're going to swing for lethal or if you have to survive, but it usually ends up not being great against allies. So, and Royal Mage's Trick is good against allies, especially if he has a double strike ally and things like that. It really reduces either the damage you're taking or actually allows you to block and kill their guys while you lose nothing. So I like citing it in against allies. Okay, I think this is a keep. It is slow. We do have early ways of slowing. One early way of slowing him down, though. And gaining life. Our Undu Rising would have actually been pretty great for us in that last game. We didn't get it, though. Kind of forgot we had it. So we do need to draw a fourth land. So hopefully this time we don't have the same land luck we had last time. Those Felidar Cubs are good against us, but I don't think it was enough of a reason to take out Stasis Snare. Still causes a tempo swing. So we'll be playing our Cloud Manta first. We didn't see any removal out of him, but he also didn't really need to use it. He just needed to run us over. So, okay, don't like that retreat a whole lot. It's not. I don't think it's super good. But we'll play our Cloud Manta. So we're hitting our land drops, which is great. If we can go Ghostly Sentinel, Deathless Behemoth, Ondu Rising, we're going to be pretty happy with that prospect. We can also use Rush of Ice next turn and awaken it, which is relevant. So, all right, so he's a 3/3 now. We'll just take 3 here. If we had Stasis Snare in our hand, I might have considered blocking. Okay, Lifespring Druid. All right, well, all the lands. Pretty soon we're not going to want to hit more lands, but right now I think it's okay. I don't like revealing I have stuff like Spawning Bed until later, until I have to, because you can use it to, when you can play it as more of a surprise, your opponent isn't prepared for it, basically. I know that when I see things going on the other side, I often, will think of ways, think of my game plan in regard to like Spawning Bed, for example. But if my opponent, knows I have it. Oh, to Drew Warcaller? No, to Drew Beastmaster. Still pretty bad, but not as bad. So we're just going to take 5. I think we probably Rush of Ice the Beastmaster. Ooh, Skyline Cascade plus Rush of Ice. That's pretty nice. So I think that's probably what we do here. Instead of playing a Deathless Behemoth. So yeah, we'll play our Cascade. Tap down Felidar Cub. And then we will cast Rush of Ice with Awaken. Tapping that and awakening our Skyline Cascade. Now we can pretty safely swing for 6. So I will, dropping him to 11. This opens us up for an Ondu Rising next turn that'll make this bigger and gain us a bunch of life. We have not seen our Halimar Tidecaller yet, which is a little sad for me, but it's not the end of the world. Right, his own Rampart, which isn't great against us, but it does stop our Skyline Cascade as it stands now. Interesting. Do I force him to use a card here so that he can't go as wide when he pumps his whole team later? I don't think so. I think Ondu Rising is going to be too good for us. Ooh, Sheer Drop. Well, now I think I use Sheer Drop to take out the Beastmaster and make this into a 6/6. Taking out the Beastmaster is pretty important. Yeah, we'll make our Cascade into a 6/6. And I think to be safe here, we just swing with our Ghostly Sentinel and drop him to 8. I was wondering if he had Gideon's Reproach there, which might have also been why he swung with his Lifespring Druid. But it looks like he didn't have it. We do have Deathless Behemoth plus Spawning Bed, which could be a thing. And we can crack Spawning Bed at this point if we want to. But we're probably going to go with Ondu Rising this turn. We need to get out of the lower life totals, or we're in trouble. Okay, Munda is annoying, but should not be a problem. We like him going down to only having 1 land untapped. Well, he has Lifespring Druid, so he could still have Gideon's Reproach. Question is, do I animate another land, like my island, or do I make Skyline Cascade even bigger? Oh my god. We're going to see double to Drew Warcaller. Oh, that is just awful for us. Okay, makes Munda bigger. So, I don't even think Ondu Rising can save us now. Okay, this is interesting. It's got to mean he has Gideon's Reproach, right? Since it does, I think we do what we can to take down this. If he has Lithomancer's Focus here, we're not dead. If he has 2, we're dead, but I think we're probably dead either way. So the Focus would be bad here. But Gideon's Reproach would still die. Damn. Oh, yeah, we're in trouble. I think we lose now. He's just going to gain so much life. I mean, no, he's not. We're going to gain a lot. We don't have double white. If we did, we might have a chance here. If we'd had the mana for Spawning Bed, we would have had a chance as well. So he's going to play a Tadru Warcaller. Everyone's going to get +2/+2. I think we still play Ondu Rising, and we swing with Ghostly Sentinel, go up to 7. So we're going to awaken this land. So if we swing with everything here, we gain 10 life, go up to 14. He plays his Warcaller, swings at us for 6, 10, enough to kill us. Although we will have a Ghostly Sentinel capable of blocking. Do I go to 10 and leave back my island? Well, the Ghostly Sentinel will be left back too. We know the Warcaller's coming. But if we swing in the air now, we'll have him so that we have him at lethal next turn. So I think that's what we have to do if we want to have a chance of winning. We're going to leave our island back to block, and we're going to swing with both of those. He may have Gideon's Reproach. Seemed like he was holding one. Doesn't look like it, though. So we're going to go up to 10. He's at 2, so if he can't kill us this turn, we should win the game. Let's see if Warcaller kills us. I actually don't think it does because the Rampart can't attack. So we're going to have to block Munda, and we're going to have to block this, and we take... Yeah, it won't kill us. So I think we might have managed to get this one thanks to Andu Rising. If he has removal, if he has Gideon's Reproach right now, if he doesn't attack with this, it basically means he does, then we're in a lot of trouble. He did attack with it, so I think we're okay. We will block... I think we just block the biggest things. Even though, you know, they're just chump blocks. I think that's what we have to go for here. Okay. All right, well, all comes down to whether this Cloud Manta makes contact. And he has 1 white mana, so he should. All right, Cloud Manta led the way to victory again. Whew, that double Tajuru Warcaller was one of the scariest things I've ever seen in this format. Luckily, we gained enough life to survive. It was a hard decision, for me anyway. It might have been easier for you. Looks like our opponent is sideboarding. I'll be back with you when he's back. Probably bringing in some plummets, which is bad news. All right, we have what looks to be a pretty good hand against him. Our Fortified Rampart was good in game 1, despite the fact that we couldn't play anything else. So, having it when we can actually do some other stuff seems even better. We'll play our early Lookout. All right, Felidar Cub again, which we're not super happy to see. There's our Gideon's Approach, which has not shown up yet. But we'll play our Rampart, lock the ground down, lock down the ground, whatever I'm trying to say. We're going to do it. We have our Royal Mage's Trick, which is also pretty good. Like, it makes a Warcaller turn that looks like it's going to devastate us into basically nothing. All right, we'll hold on to our Cascade since we have the luxury to do so. And we'll just play land and in the turn. Because right now we can just play our Cloud Manta next turn. It may throw us off if we draw like one of our 5 drops, like Windrider Patrol or whatever, but I think that's probably okay. I would have blocked there if he swung, but he did not. Okay, that thing, which we can actually kill this time should he swing with it. All right, drawing more lands means we can continue to hold on to our Cascade till it like serves a purpose. We'll play our Cloud Manta, see if it eats a plummet to the face. And we'll end our turn. We can't get Gideon's Reproach right now, unfortunately. Royal Mage's Trick also goes a long way to making what looks like advantageous combat into not great combat, which could be relevant. He may be about to play Warcaller right now, which would be bad. But it wouldn't be the end of the world. Okay, no Warcaller. We know he has at least 2, which, like I was saying, if green ends up being open and you can get 2 Warcallers, doesn't matter that green's not the strongest color in the world. So I'm going to block here because it's only taking 1 more damage, and a focus would have taken out my Rampart. And I don't really want to lose my Rampart at this point. So we'll just block there. This turn I probably play Cascade. I mean, unless I draw something that I really want to play. Oh, man. Gideon's Approach would have been nice right there. All right. Do I really want to play that? I mean, I could play my land instead of the Cascade and keep up Gideon's Approach and play Benthic Infiltrator, who's another good blocker. he puts another counter here, we're not going to be able to kill it, which is kind of crappy for us. Yeah, I think we play Infiltrator, leave mana up for our Gideon's Reproach, and just end the turn there. Opponent down to 1 card, so we like that part. We don't like the way the board looks, but we could turn it around. This Grove Tender Druid, this guy's deck uses it the best I've ever seen someone really use it, because he has at least 3 mass pump effects, and that's pretty gross. Okay. Interesting. So I'm going to declare blocks here before I do anything because he may use a combat trick, and then we can Gideon's Reproach in response to it. So I'm going to block here, and I'm going to block here. So no combat tricks. So do I still Reproach that thing? I think I will. Yeah, we need to get rid of that thing. It's been a nuisance all along for us so far. So, okay, on to Great Horn. Something else we can just continue to block. So we are drawing 2 mini lands now, but we'll play our Cascade, tap down Felidar Cub. We have mana up for Royal Mage's Trick and Cliffside Lookout's ability, and we'll swing for 1 here. I think we can afford to. And ingesting something could be very relevant later. Ooh, this Ondu Greathorn is going to get sizable in a hurry. This turn, it can already almost just swing through our Fortified Rampart. Yeah, I'll put a +1/+1 counter there. So it's a 3/4, and then goes up to 5/6. If he swings with the Invoker, who am I willing to trade? Actually, I don't have to be willing to trade. I can Royal Mage's Trick. I think I just declare the chump blocks for now. Well, this is a chump. And then see what he does. Yeah, I'm just going to pump everything so I can take down his Invoker. Still have Royal Mage's Trick. Ugh. Now I think we have to leave back our Infiltrator. We're just drawing all the lands, which is not great. But our opponent's down to 1 card as well, and our Royal Mage's Trick will cycle, and we'll probably have to use it in the near future. So, not in a way I would like to be using it. It's ideal to use when you can kill a bunch of your opponent's stuff. Right now we won't be killing anything, so. Okay, Hero of Gomafada. Seems like a good time to use our Royal Mage's Trick. So, well, not really, actually, because we can just block. Yeah, so. All right, Ghostly Sentinel. We can't play it and keep Royal Mage's Trick up, but I think that's okay for now. We'll just end our turn there. If he ever draws a land, that Ondu Greathorn is going to become a real problem. We really need our Stasis Snare, but he also has Felidar Cub, so wouldn't solve our lives. Okay, drew a land. So he probably has Inspired Charge in his hand, which is really bad for us. Okay, he didn't put the counter there, so that means we can still block it. He may still have Inspired Charge, though. Ooh, that's the reason it would have been nice to keep mana up for Royal Mage's Trick, but we can do that in future turns, I guess. I think we just take 14 here, as crazy as that sounds, and block. Well, we can block here, and that'll survive. And we can block something else, I guess, with our Infiltrator. His hand's empty. Yeah, I think just taking 7 here is relevant enough. So we'll do that. Drops us to 9. Man, we are struggling here. Really only able to draw lands this whole game. Game 1, we got mana screwed, but that's part of variance in Magic. You know, I think we're probably dead. I did say that last game too, and we managed to pull out of it. But we were we were pretty far ahead on board, and we were able to get to where we needed to be. So he can't play another ally this turn. So we at least have one more turn left in us, I think. So that's good. We can actually even block and kill Felidar Cub this turn. Now we can't, but that's okay. So 5/6. So do we need to use up? I think Royal Mage's trick between drawing us a card and making us take less damage is worth it here. So I think we block the 5/6. That's what you are, right? And if we block here and then give it -2, it'll still kill that. So I'm going to block here instead. And then we'll cast Royal Mage's trick. So we'll take 3 this turn. None of our dudes die. Ooh, yeah. That's a good draw. Would have been nicer earlier. If he plays an ally, it's going to be useless. But if he doesn't, it'll be pretty good. It'll at least kill one thing and another freaking land. So I think we're basically dead. Royal's Retribution can kill something. If he doesn't draw a land, like if he draws a land or an ally, we're basically in trouble. So the chances of those happening, hey, that's not too bad. Okay. All right, so I think we want to kill Hero of Gomafada. I think I'm going to declare blocks first in the event that he has a combat trick. That way things are even better for us. So, because he has one card in his hand, so he could very well have a combat trick. We're going to block here and here. I think we have to kill the hero. And then let's see what he does. Okay. We're going to cast Royal's Retribution and do 4 here. 5. Yeah, we'll just do all 5 to him. It doesn't really matter. So, okay, and we drop to 2. So that's not so good. It means he can just Alpha Strike next turn and kill us unless we draw a blocker. That'll work. That will buy us more time. But as we saw in game 1, our opponent's deck is explosive enough that buying us time isn't really enough. Ondu Rising wouldn't be bad, but it wouldn't be that good right now either. We just can't gain life right now. So if he plays an ally, we tap down Ondu Greathorn and Felidar Cub. Okay. I would think he would put the counter on this because it would make it so... nope, he wants to make that bigger. Interesting. So if he just goes to combat here... now we got to use adverse conditions. I was thinking we wouldn't have to, but we have to. So we're going to tap this and this down and get our little Eldrazi token. I could have been attacking with my Ghostly Sentinel this whole time. Not sure why I haven't been. It was Spawning Bed's nice. I really think I've been forgetting to attack with my Ghostly Sentinel like every turn, and we might have actually won this game a while ago if I had a brain. But this Spawning Bed may help us win anyway. I completely overlooked the fact that I could swing with my Ghostly Sentinel. Forgot I had Vigilance. Been obsessed with protecting myself. I think we probably crack Spawning Bed at the end of his turn no matter what. That way we have all the mana we need to cast whatever we draw, and we have 3/1/1s in play. So, Unnatural Aggression. Okay, we can't do anything about that, unfortunately. So there goes our win condition. I might have to go back and look at how many times I could have swung there that would have made a huge difference. But yeah, we're going to crack this. Wow. Well, I deserve this for not attacking with my Ghostly Sentinel every turn it was in play, I would say. I mean, even if I was worried he had Gideon's Reproach, not attacking there is pretty unforgivable, I think. Okay, so Ondu Greathorn is going to be a pretty big problem here. Where's our removal? We did use a Reproach and a Royal's Retribution, I guess, but this is going to be a hard one to turn around for sure. In part because I think I made some play mistakes. So, all right. So, do we quadruple block Feldarkub? No, I'm just kidding. We can't. We're at 2 life. I think we block this guy, we block this guy, and we block this guy because that's what we have to do. And we have one more turn of being able to do that. And then we're in serious trouble. Oh my god. All right, well, we're going to hold on to that to bluff and just end our turn. 8, 9, 10, 12 of our lands. 13 of our lands is what we've drawn, right? Yes. Okay, just checking. So there's only 5 left in our deck, but they don't seem to want to quit. If he puts the counter here, he could swing through my Rampart. That's what I would have done a long time ago if I were him. But he once again did not do it, and I'm okay with it. All right, so we're forced into these awkward blocks again, and I think I'm trying to think if there's a single card we can draw that'll bail us out here. I think the answer is, in fact, no. Actually, Ruin Processor would go a long way to buying us a little more time. Stasis Snare does not get the job done, and we lose. That was a rough 3 games. Variance happens. And our opponent's deck is also very good, so that helps. Helped beat us for sure, but we had awful luck in game 1 and 3.